Hey guys, today we are playing Fire Emblem Heroes. I've been wanting to do a little bit of a review on this game for a while. I'm going to be talking about heroes. I'm going to go into the tier list a little bit. Strap in, it might be a little bit of a long one. I kind of want to explain some of the stuff on the current tier list that we have on the Fire Emblem Heroes wiki. I do have that pulled up in another window, so I'll get to it when I get to it. Just kind of want to show you where I'm at right now first, and then we'll dive into it. And then at the end of the video, I think I'll do, I'm going to burn through all these orbs and see if I can get a couple of the characters that I want. There's only two heroes in the game right now that I actually really want that I don't have. There's a few that I would like for sure, but there's only two that I actually completely want. So I'm going to show you the heroes that I have right now, and then we'll kind of go into the tier list, and we're going to break down some of the pros and cons of some of the top tier heroes and kind of why they are where they are. Because this game is really simple in a lot of ways, and it's about to get really complicated with the new patch coming where you're going to be able to pass on skills, apparently. But we'll see how that works when it gets here. And for now, it's just like an overly simplistic game. Like there's the current hero tier list, unlike other games where things are really subjective, this is basically set in stone. And I agree with most of the stuff on the wiki. I do think some heroes are a little bit overrepresented, or some different skills are really kind of overrated, just for a certain function of a hero. But it is in my opinion, extremely accurate. Probably the best tier list in any game that I've seen of any kind of hero structure to a game where there's just tons of little Pokemon characters running around. But these are the heroes that I got right now. 5-star. With my 4 stars and lower, I generally release them for the feathers so I can rank up and fuse the ones that I get tons of together so I can get like a +5 or 6 or whatever version. I'm trying to think of one that I put together a whole bunch maybe. I can kind of show that's only two. Maybe this guy. No, it's only three. I know there's a couple I got like 5 or 6. Oh no, Nino. Totally on this one. Yeah. Maybe my idea is at some point in time, maybe I'll have so many gains from the plus on the 4 stars that it'll be stronger than a 5 star. That's a little bit of a dream, though. Anyway, let's kind of get right into it. So currently, the best heroes that I have, like this is the team up top, is just one that I kind of just sort of have for the PvP right now. I don't have Irika or Julia at max level yet, so I'm working on that right now. And Lind, I might be switching out with another character if I can get enough feathers to rank them up. Because I want to have a team of 4 heroes for the battle mode. So every week in the arena, there's a couple things that you need to do to score high in the arena. The first is in your seven battles. You can't lose any units when you're fighting. If you want to score high and get high in the ranking, the rewards are based off of these three things: offense, defense, and rank. So the rank is the highest payout. Last week I was, I think, 1,400 something, so I got another 2,500 feathers for that. Now to be able to get into the the mid 4,000s in terms of your score is based off of how many units you have standing at the end of every battle. So if you're losing your units because you have a poorly thought out team, then you're not going to be able to get into the top score. They only rank the top 100,000 players on the in the game to get the extra feathers. Otherwise, your feather cap is based off of how much you get in offense, and if somebody attacks you, how much you get in defense. Which the offense and defense is nothing by comparison to what you can get for actually being ranked. I really think they need to kind of adjust these feather amounts because to rank up your 4-star heroes to 5-star, it's actually quite expensive feather-wise. From like 3 to 4, it's like 2,000, and then it's like 20,000 for 4 to 5. So that's something that I think is a little bit of a stretch. Like I could understand it being 5 to 10,000. So at least that way, maybe like good players can do one a week or something like that. But it's right now it's a little bit weird. I think they're being kind of stingy with the feathers. Anyway, but they do have a lot of tons of quests, giveaways, monthly refreshing, and stuff like that. So like so far, I really am happy with the game. I do not think there's quite enough content really, but like I'm a particularly busy person, so like this game kind of really fits right into the frame of my lifestyle right now, which is really nice. But if you use the heroes that are in the season's bonus heroes, which will be refreshed every couple of weeks, I believe, they usually want to put the ones up that they have on sale to kind of drive sales. But you will get more points for having them in your team. So if I don't want to start a battle with this team. I guess I'll just do one with, this is the team I used last week, for example. So when you battle, you generally want to go to the advanced every single time if you're actually aiming to get decent ranking. And your score range here, so the 457 to 654. 457 is what you get if you win and you only have one unit left. 654 is what you'll get if you win and you have all your units left. So we'll go into a battle and hopefully I won't get my ass kicked. Okay. All right, so this looks like it might be, let's see, Cordelia with Gale Force. Okay. This is definitely doable. Hector is usually good to deal with last. 30 speed. Okay. 43 attack, but she's got the Brave Lance. I haven't run into very many Cordelias. This is a free kill right now, so I think we'll take that. Tiki is a pain in the ass to deal with. I really don't think this Cordelia... I should probably let the Cordelia come to me and attack because he's got 2 armored units. I think I'll do that. No sense letting it attack me first. Oh, look, we just kill her with Lind. Lind is super strong. Like, outrageously strong. Okay, and I could just kill Hector. I think I'll just kill Hector here. Lucina is one of the heroes that may seem to some people to be a little bit questionable for her placement in the tier list, but she's extremely versatile. Like because she's got super high attack and a decent enough speed. Also, her speed gain from the getting lower HP if she gets a certain amount of HP knocked down. Oh my goodness, that's not cool. All right. Okay, so how do I do this? Okay. Lucina has the attack increase if I get her adjacent, so how do I do this? I guess I'll just move everybody up. Oh, I gotta move them. Okay, where do I need to have Lucina standing here? Yeah, I only need it for one character. So yeah, I'll just have Effie move in one slot and it'll be fine. Because Lid'll hit for another few points. Oh, that's annoying. Stupid smart AI. There we go. So Ephraim gave the increase to Lynn. That was 29. And then Ephraim can come over here. Sorry about that. I'm too much of a noob at this game, so Sometimes they do stupid things. But because you win with all 4 heroes, you get the maximum score, whatever it promised you for your bonus. So I got the 654. I'm not going to waste one of my swords and go and lose one or win it with just 1 hero left, so I can show you the minimum thing, but that's basically how it works. So now let's talk about the heroes in the game that are currently super top tier. I'm just going to pull up the tier list on the wiki right now, just so we can take a look at this. All right, so currently top tier heroes, like they recently changed it. It used to say SS, but they don't want to emphasize that big of a difference between some of the characters, so they've changed it to, as you can see, some of the characters that were in B went from A, and there's an A plus section, and S and an S plus, because these characters are very, very well balanced. Most of the characters in the game are extremely well balanced. It's one thing that I really like about this game. However, there are a few abnormally strong heroes. And those abnormally strong heroes have insane advantages over a very large majority of the heroes in the game. So the first hero I want to talk about is Hector. Hector is probably the best unit in the game. I think that Hector has got to be probably the best unit in the game. I think it lets him be a good starting point. And this is the problem with the game that I found so far. Because Hector is so damn strong, he's kind of a starting point. So heroes that are good against Hector, but also versatile in against other top heroes, kind of get priority over others. In particular, when it comes to Lucina versus, let's say, Marth, or Lynn, I actually prefer Marth over Lucina. But Lucina's got slightly more attack, and she's got more than enough speed, but she is a little bit stronger, and that little bit actually helps her quite a lot. She also gets extra power because she also learns Luna, and her Luna has got a very short charge to cool down. I believe it's only like 2 or 3. So she uses her Luna almost all the time. She also learns Aether, but I don't think most people are going to be going with Aether because it's like a 5 charge cost, whereas Luna has all the damage. If you just play properly, then Aether really doesn't do anything for you except cost 2 extra charges to charge it up. But Luna is fantastic, whereas Marth has like Pivot or something like that. But I think overall, Marth's stats are a little bit better. But let's just take a look at Hector real quick. So first things first, he's got distant counter. Now there's only a few units that have abilities that allow them to counter regardless of position, and not all of them are good. For example, Noe, the Manakete from Fire Emblem Awakening, can counter at all distances, but she's not really a good unit at all, in my opinion. Like she's really kind of the bar of mediocrity, who has a couple of useful things. Like she's got rally defense and she can counter, and I can't really think of anything else that's really that great about her. Plus she's a blue dragon, and as we're going to look at Hector, like I said, I think Hector's the strongest, so that's why I'm doing it as a starting point. Like I mentioned before, this game's hero balance is extremely, extremely good. But there are a few units that are just a little bit too well designed, and it gives them kind of too much an advantage because things are so tightly balanced together by Nintendo here. So if something gets just a little bit over the fence, it could kind of steamroll and make them really amazing. So the first thing is Armads. So, or sorry, the guaranteed counter. So Hector can always counter. He's also got the Armad's axe, which gives him a guaranteed follow-up attack on the first time he gets attacked, basically. It says at above 80% HP, but that basically means if you attack him, he gets 2 turns on the first turn, which is a problem because he's got up to 55 attack and 16 from the Armads. So he's a strong as crap hero. He's super tanky with as much as, well, let's go with the average stats. They're a little bit better than going the plus minus stats. 52 attack, 52 HP, His speeds doesn't matter because he's more of a first strike kind of hero, where he's almost guaranteed to kill something. Like except for perhaps the Lucina or like some other really decent sword user. It's usually if you run into a Hector that's really strong, it's usually better to have him attack you first so he can't get his double attack off with the Armads. But that aside, he's a little bit too tanky to just take out. So if you have a really strong red mage, which unfortunately there isn't one right now, you can't actually, like, you really can't actually deal with Hector like that. Saniki just came up, but I think that she's a little bit too squishy. Maybe she'll be decent against Hector, but at this point in time, I think that she'll just get crushed. He also has the Pavise, so in the longer term fights, like what makes his kit so well designed is one, the first engagement he'll get 2 attacks off. Next, he gets the distant counter, which allows him guaranteed no matter whenever or whoever attacks him, he will always get those 2 attacks to start. And then he can obviously counter against any unit. Typically ranged units are squishier, so he just shuts down almost all ranged units, even ones that typically have advantage against him. His spur attack is, most heroes that have a thing that'll buff units around them, it's fairly useful here and there, but it's not like it's something that's game breaking. It's very common skill. Next he has Pavise, which what's great about Pavise, Buckler too, but Pavise is obviously the better version of it. It works only against adjacent foes. That is, like, there's ones that work against ranged. This one works against adjacent foes. So ranged characters typically go to attack him and they'll get killed. That's by a pretty wide margin. Most the good heroes might be able to take a hit, but for the most part, he's got ranged heroes locked down right now of the current selection of heroes. So because the Pavise works on adjacent foes, the ones that are really strong against them need to be straight up hard counters to take him down, or it's just not a fun time to go up against him. The Pavise having a charge of 3, if you attack him first, you'll probably get 2 attacks. He'll get 2 attacks. The next round when he's under 80% HP, ideally he's under 80% HP. If he's not, you're attacking with the wrong hero. Then he'll be able to reduce damage. So if you're trying to kind of team up on them, maybe take a shot with a ranged hero, sack that, send another hero in, he kind of blocks half their damage against Sola. He's just a really tanky as crap hero. Because he's only got the 1 movement as an armored character, like, he probably gets a little bit more use out of his spur attack than most other units that have the adjacent ally abilities, because he's usually lagging along in the back, which is great because then your team generally softens everything up. If it's a really tight match, then when it comes down to, we both have 1 hero left and your hero's Hector, you're going to win that 9 times out of 10. It just is what it is. He's just really strong. But now his placement, I'm probably going to spend too much time on this, so let's just get away with from him. His placement is almost key to every other hero that's placed up on the S tier. So because you absolutely need, like, for example, let's go with Tiki. Tiki is in the S tier. Now, Tiki is the most natural hard counter to Hector, because she attacks with magic. She's another melee unit, but her defensive stats are phenomenal, and she's red. So, he barely hurts her at all. I think he'll hit twice. The first round of attacks, he'll hit twice for like 6 damage or something like that. It's really nothing. Then Tiki, when she's attacking, gets her armored blow defense during combat. Like, really fantastic hero. Almost looks like she was designed to take down Hector. Now, what this leads into, for having really strong mana keeks that are really important to taking down other super top tier heroes, is extra usefulness for heroes that use the Falchion sword. which is why I believe Lucina's #1 reason for being S plus and not down in S. Ryoma, for example, is basically a stronger version of Lucina in every way, shape, and form, and he also has the ability to counterattack regardless of distance. But Raijinto, his sword, does not have bonus damage against Manakits or beasts or whatever they call them in this version of the game. But he's a phenomenal unit, but his stats are basically mirrored to Lucina's. I think he's got a little bit better stats, but they're basically the same as Lucina's. Let's go take a look over her at her real quick. Yeah, so they're more or less the same. Like they're rating around the same. Like I said, he does have a slight edge over her, but she does have the Falchion, which gives her a little bit of regen. She does also have Luna, which, yeah, like I said over here, which gives the a huge perk for her, only at 3 charges, and she gets Defiant Speed. She also has Spur Attack too, which like I just used it in the last battle I played. It was kind of helpful there. But the Defiant Speed, granting +7 speed at the start of turn in terms of long battles, basically guarantees her to have 2 attacks all the time. Like so, Lucina doesn't seem on the face immediately to be super OP compared to other sword using heroes. Like a straight up comparison, her versus Ryoma. Ryoma looks like he should win every single time if it's just Ryoma versus Lucina. But Lucina has more versatility versus other heroes that are going to be commonly on top tier teams. So hopefully that kind of spells it a little bit. A lot of heroes placement on this tier list is not because they're actually better heroes, just that they're more useful heroes against heroes that are good against the really actually few OP heroes in the game. And Lucina kind of fits really well on that. She's a very well designed hero, in my opinion, based off of what the current state of the game is. But we'll see how much that changes after they add these new pass down skills or whatever it is. Okay, so next over in the S tier we have Lind. I want to go to her next because Lind is the one character that's in the SS or S plus class that is just monstrous. Like when she's beat, she's beat. But for the most part, Lind is in a kind of a golden spot right now. Her attack and speed are way too damn high. Way too damn high. She's got her aura magic is like the healing effect. I guess that's somewhat useful, depending on the team you're playing against. Ardent Sacrifice is actually useful. She doesn't have a special, which is a little bit of a downside, but her stats are so damn high that she just does, like it's almost better than having a special. Having a special that gives you a really strong attack here and there is not as good as every time you attack, you kill something. It's just not. And this speed and this attack, also while using magic, so you're hitting resistance, which is typically a lot lower, is just fantastic. Now, she's not going to do anything against Hector, of course, because Hector's green. He'll just counter her because he can counter at any distance, and he'll just crush her. But Lind beats almost every other top-tier hero. It's really hard to think of top-tier heroes that actually can stand up to Lind. Lind basically one-shots all of them. All of the red heroes in the game, I'm quite positive Lind will kill in one turn. She got the speed and she's got the attack to do it. The ones that she can't do in one turn, she could probably take advantage of terrain to do it in 2 turns. You're the one in control, so it's not like it's something that's particularly difficult to do with a ranged hero. The only heroes that can counter from all distances, I believe, are Ryoma, Noe, Hector, and our what's that archer's name? Takumi. But Lind is just the one character who's with your definition of glass cannon. Now she's good against other mages. She's got really high resistance, or at least good resistance. considering her defense is non-existent. But she's just a really, really strong hero that just kills stuff. Now, because she's got the healing and then the ardent sacrifice, if you're against a hero that's not ranged and you can hide behind a stronger hero, then like the ardent sacrifice actually is a little bit helpful in really specific situations. But that's all you really need, just to be specifically good every now and then. Plus, if you're kind of hiding behind, then she also gets the res +4. So maybe good against helping your tanky units take on Manicheets while staying behind and shooting them with magic and so on. So, like, again, another pretty decently designed hero, but really seems to be kind of just a little bit too strong. Just straight, like this is the one character who I think is just straight up too strong. Lynn doesn't have any particularly amazing hard counters, with the exception of green mages or Hector. And even then, Hector's like I'll last shot Hector with Lind all the time, so long as I can get the last shot in because his res is so low. If I'm just down to like Lucina and Lind or something like that, it'll be I'll lead with Lucina. If Lucina can't take him out in one turn, then Lind will follow up. But usually you could, if you have Tiki alive, Tiki just kills Hector. But like I said, Lind really kind of takes care of every other hero in the top tier. I believe even Takumi loses to Lind. Speaking of Takumi, let's go check out him next. Because he's colorless, he's more all round. He doesn't have any crazy weaknesses. The only thing that he's weak against is heroes that just straight up beat him. Like his stats are pretty good. Like he is very strong. Like any hero with over 45 attack as a base is generally in the a little bit too strong kind of level of characters. Plus his speed's really high, and he also lowers other people's speed, I believe, with one of his effects. He has pass through, but pass through's kind of a useless skill. Let's see. He's got the Vengeance, which is on a 3 charge, which is really good. Yeah, so threaten speed. So he's got threaten speed up to level 3. Inflict speed -5 on foes within 2 spaces at the start of each turn. So if they're walking up to you and get within 2 spaces, boom, speed -5, and you'll get double attacks all the time. So it's another hero where when you're playing against Takumi, he can be dangerous. When you're playing with Takumi, he's just a monster, and he's just really, really strong. He's a very versatile unit. He can counter from up close, so you don't have to worry about maybe 2-turning units and going after them right in the beginning, and then having to put up with them hitting you once, because generally he'll get 2 attacks and then maybe take a hit if he can't kill, and boom, he takes him back out again. Because again, like I said, he's got no weaknesses. His only real weakness is that he's kind of got no advantage either. Flying units in the game are not good right now. Maybe flying units in the game are just not good because of Takumi, and I'm just overlooking that, but there's no flying units that are particularly amazing. Like there may be 2 I can think of. Maybe 3 if we count Minerva. Like the axe units right now are not that great, and the ones that are half decent are flying, so that's a little bit of a problem. But Takumi can counter close, so if they fly up to him and try to kill him, he'd take him out. So he's got good coverage for that, for the flyers, but flyers are basically, like, I don't feel that there's any flyer in the game that you actually need Takumi to take down. I just don't think that it's a necessity. It's a nice perk, but it's not a necessity. It's not. There aren't any particularly good flyers right now, like I said. But the threatened speed is fantastic. The Vengeance is great because it almost wants you to get a little bit of damage on you in the start, so you can kind of get a good buff to your attack every now and then. The close counter is really OP. The passing through units with the Fujin Yumi's second ability is kind of useless. For the most part, it's just he's a strong, well-rounded hero with really no weaknesses. His res is kind of low, so he might be a little bit weak to a character like Noe, but Noe's kind of mediocre. So it's like, so long as you have, like I said, because Valkyon users have ultimate power over beast characters, like unless you have a situation where there's a hero that's so strong it gets completely shut down by a mana key, you wouldn't really use it. Like, I wouldn't be using Tiki right now if Hector didn't exist. So, and I probably wouldn't be using Lucina as my sword user if Tiki wasn't commonplace. I just don't think that those things would work together. Now, there is another character I want to talk about in the S tier that's a little bit overrated, and that would be this one right here, Azura. Azura, I believe, is kind of weak. Her stats are nothing special. Her speed is fairly high, but that's about it. Her defenses is absolutely terrible. Her defense is mostly based on her Sapphire Lance, giving the extra 20%. So if she's fighting against sword users, she kind of really doesn't need all that much defense. But it's like, if it's a hero like Roy, for example, using this against an axe user like Hector, he's actually got half decent stats, so it kind of works a little bit better for him to have it than a really, really weak hero defensively. What really makes this character considered OP is the ability Sing. Just like the ability Dance, it grants a unit another action. Now, what I really like about Sing is, because this game has such low movement on the characters, Sing is actually really, 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 really OP. Because you can kite heroes with ranged heroes and Sing all day long if they can't counter you. It's just one of those things that you could always attack, Sing, move, attack, Sing, move, attack, Sing, move, attack, Sing, move. It's there's certain things that you can do with Sing that are kind of just exploiting the nature of the game's design currently. But hopefully this doesn't keep up. Like, I'm not a fan of heroes that are considered top tier because of poor design to the game. She really doesn't have anything else that's good against her. What's nice about her is that she can give your other OP heroes 2 turns. But it's the argument is, unless you're using her Sing ability to try to exploit something, it'd be better off just having 2 of those units in the first place. So it's hopefully that something gets changed about the way that the movement mechanic works in the future. Otherwise, Sing's going to continue to be really OP. Because I really don't see anything particularly special about her. Like, she's good against fighting mages. She's very fast. She's got pretty decent attack, but she's squishy as hell, and she's got low HP. Low HP, low defense. That's a bad combination for a physical attacker that has a 1 range melee. Like the Sapphire 20%, with the Sapphire Lance, like I said, great against sword users specifically, but really not much else. And it's not as if you need something like this to shut down sword users. Like I said, Lind basically one shots every sword, or will one turn every sword user in the game. Maybe Ryoma would beat her, but Lind is dealing with every sword user that I can think of right now fairly well. I usually just kill them all with Lind anyway, because she's so much stronger. It's just easier. I am raising my own Azura right now, and with my crappy luck, I think I actually got the minus defense plus speed to my to my Azura, so she's going to be extra squishy. All right, so before I go back into the game, just want to talk about some of the S-class characters that are really good, really promising, and some of the A-plus characters, and why they're there. So the S-plus class characters, I think, are kind of actually set in place currently around Hector. Some arguments for Takumi, but mostly centered around Hector. Lind is really just really powerful. But there's this hero that's just come out recently, Julia. Now, Julia is not as good as the other mage I showed you earlier. I got the +5. What's his name? So bad at this. Nino. Not quite as good as Nino. Nino's more like Lind, high attack, high speed. He's more of that nature. He's a little bit weaker, but basically the same type. So you could expect more or less the same with Nino. Nino's a girl, I'm pretty sure actually. Nino with as you would with Lind. But I do believe that Nino's a little bit worse than Lind. But with Julia here, what you get is the Naga spellbook. Now the Naga spellbook gives her plus damage against beasts and dragons. So it gives defense res +2 and attack 2. That's a nice little perk. So what it does is it kind of gives you a really strong answer for Lind, while also allowing you to maybe replace a Falchion user with somebody like Ryoma. So you could put Ryoma in, and then to deal with the Manicheets, you have the Naga spellbook, which also happens to deal with a character like Lind. So I don't think that she's represented well right now on the tier list. I think that she probably will be going up in the future. Her special is okay. It's not amazing at 4 charges, but it's okay. It's the reason it's not amazing at 4 charges is because her speed is absolutely atrocious. Oh no, apparently she could get up to 30 speed. Still not that good. Not against like there's really not any, like if you're talking going up against like Lind or anything like that, she's really only got the 1 attack per turn, which could sometimes be annoying to have to take 2 turns to do a 1-turn job. But still, it's a good grant 60% to attack is pretty solid because she's got a very high attack. She's got the breath of life also, which is again it's just like Lynn's weapons ability that does the healing. 2 more HP. It's really not a huge deal. It kind of has some good synergy with Falchion users that can heal themselves. But it's one of those things where it's really not necessary right now. So it's a kind of wasted skills. That might be why she's not considered to be too great right now, but I do think that she's very, very strong against a lot of current top tier heroes. Let's see what else. Robin was considered SS, I believe, for a short while because he is got a natural passive against the what is it? The colorless foes. Yeah, grants weapon advantage versus colorless. The only thing is his attack is really mediocre. Like he's kind of weak, and his spell is kind of weak also. His stats are almost too balanced. Like as you can see, everything is kind of straight right in the higher middle range for everything. So that's not amazing, but it's not terrible. So he was kind of a good all-round hero at first. Plus he was a blue tome user. So until people started busting out Lynn's like crazy, like he was considered to be a little bit better because he could deal with heroes like Takumi, which are really overrepresented on the ladder a little bit. I still think that Takumi beats him a good half the time. Oh, the Defiant speed is nice, actually. That part is nice. And the allies getting defense is, I think, one of the more advantageous abilities for people beside you if you're facing off against heroes like Hector, who you want them to come and attack you first. But that's basically it with the tier list. One hero that I do think is a little bit strong, but not quite in the realm of OP, is Effie here. So that's the pink, this one right here. Effie has, I believe, the highest attack in the game, up to 58 attack. She's insanely strong, but she's really kind of a pillar, like because she's an armored unit playing around her, like she'll be one of those heroes that's great on offense and terrible on defense because she really can't do anything. Like Hector's great on offense and defense because he can counter from all sides, whereas Effie, you can literally get her on the other side of a pillar or the other side of a mountain or something like that, and you can just range her all day and all night, and there's nothing she can do about it, which is a little bit depressing because her kit is really strong in terms of straight up, if she attacks you, it's not going to be fun. Her wary fighter preventing follow-up attacks is great too. So it's fantastic that she can't be one-turned, but it's not like everybody's just going to run head first and try and take her on with a sword or anything like that. So she's one of these characters that are really great numerically on paper, but not really great in application. Okay, that's it. Let's go back into the game for now. And talk about some of the other heroes. Like, these are the heroes that I have right now. I got the Robin female from the event and raised her up to 5-star. I think she was going to be great, and she's going to be absolutely terrible. Like, level 18, only 22 attack. That should say enough right there. Most of these heroes I got had that much attack when I got them. So, at level 1. So why would I want to raise this hero? It just doesn't make any sense. But the heroes that I kind of I'm looking for, I heard that Sharina was really great because she's very fast, has decent attack, well-rounded stats. She gets rally attack. Like, let's take a little look. I think that she's got something else I'm not thinking of right now. Oh, that's right. I don't have her weapon upgraded yet. Fensileer gives attack -4. That's really useful too. And fortified defense. All right. Yeah, so she can go double with both attack and defense. So rally attack and having the adjacent, so +4 and +4, and then minus. Like, that's a good unit to have around. Sometimes those swing stats on buffs from adjacent or with support skills or assist skills really gives you the edge in winning battles that would normally cost you a ton. Like I said, in PvP, it's all about not losing any units. So that's got to be something that you got to be looking out for all the time. I really like Lynn here also. The only thing is, I can't decide between Astra and Gale Force. Gale Force I'll have to take some more time to unlock, and I don't have spur speed yet. Shira does require quite a lot of SP to max everything. I really thought Lynn was going to be one of the more overpowered heroes, just because her kit is super strong. So the defiant attack is her 7 attack at start of turn, if she gets a little bit low. And because she's a sword master, obviously she's one of these heroes with high attack, high speed. And then when you put in Gale Force on top of that, she can get 2, or Astra for heroes that are really strong. But her speed's really not that fantastic. Like, compared to other sword users, it's really nothing special. So it's not like she's kind of sitting on some high place where she's going to have any kind of advantage over any other red heroes. Whereas Lucina, if they were in a one-on-one, when she got low on HP, she would get the spur speed, or not the spur speed, when her HP is low, she would get the speed buff, Defiant speed, and she would just clean house with her. So it's some of these heroes, I think that the game balance is really great, but most of the tier list, like I said, it's almost like I think that if we all just played the game for a year and never looked up a thing, we would all come to very similar conclusions on what heroes are good and what heroes are bad, based off what heroes are too good to be to be considered fair. Like, some heroes, just in games like this, just as a general rule, will always kind of set the field for the ones around them. And I'm really thinking that Julia is going to be a fantastic hero. She won't take all damage from Lind. And she's just going to be a really, really phenomenally powerful hero. I think blue heroes are really strong right now. Red heroes are going to be strong forever, so long as Hector's around, or at least extremely useful. Also, Falchion users are a little bit OP. Hopefully, if Ike comes out in the near future, he's awesome, because I am one of these people who played Path of Radiance before I played any other Fire Emblem games. I just dove into all the other ones in the future. But I think that's going to be it for now. So if you guys want to see more about FE heroes, or want to see me go into other heroes, and kind of talk about pros and cons and what's good about them, what's bad about them, then just leave a comment down below, and maybe I'll do a separate video. I'm thinking about doing like maybe 2 or 3 heroes in a video and going into the strengths and the weaknesses, and where they kind of fit on not just like on like the tier list from the community's point of view, but how you can make these heroes fit into teams, because the heroes are going to be changing on a very regular basis. And now I'm just remembering that I said I was going to do a mass summon, so we'll try. Man, all of these heroes, every single one of them is terrible. I don't like any of them. Well, we'll see. We'll hope. I'll just try and pull green and white heroes right now. Give me Takumi. Okay. Now, I don't really know if I want to keep redeeming when, like, right now, the only heroes that I want, yeah, I'm not going to do it. The only heroes that I really want right now are are Takumi and Hector. So I think I'm just going to summon the green and whites if they come up, and we'll see what we get. I hate it when you get 2 of the same hero. I really wish that you can choose the color you wanted to summon, just like focus summon on a certain color. That'd be fantastic. Man, 17,000 Fredericks, I swear. Last time I summoned Liza, I summoned 3 of her. It was terrible. The hell with you, Gordon. What I don't like about summoning green and colorless heroes right now is that there's like none of them. There's so few of them. There's so many red heroes, and there's just so few of these other heroes. So getting like the rare one is like impossible. Then I'll see on the ladder people with like got like full teams of Takumi and or full teams of Hector. Like when you fight a team with like 3 or 4 Takumis, it's hard to get out of those ones without losing something. Because dealing with 1 or 2 of the same unit is great if you have a team that's generally good balanced for a wide coverage. But when they're like super stacked all on one thing, sometimes you just don't have enough to deal with all of them. Takumi is one of those heroes where if you have 4 Takumis on your team, it's pretty difficult. Well, that sucks. I guess I'll take the blue one and hope it's something awesome. Another Azura would be nice because mine's really low in defense. Other thing I should probably mention is that healers are really not that good right now. Maybe things change in the future with more units coming out, but healers just don't seem at all useful to me. Oh, crap. I was all excited when I saw the animation start, but Camille, and she's only a 4-star, not even useful. If she was a 5-star, at least I'd be able to enhance mine a little bit. If you don't know, that stats are basically predetermined. Like your level ups are not random in this game. So don't think, oh, maybe I don't like the stats in this one, I'll raise another one and it'll be better next time, because that's never going to happen. You have very limited control over your stats. Sometimes you might have an advantage or disadvantage to a certain stat, but they're all whatever the range says on the wiki. It's not something that you have obscene control over, or some kind of great random chance to maybe have this unbeatable character with good level ups. So that's just not going to happen. So let go of that dream. But what happens is if you have a character of the same star level and you fuse them together, you gain 2 stats, I believe, at random. Maybe they're not at random. We'll figure that out with more time. I guess for the 3, I'll do it. I didn't even get a single 5-star. This is depressing. I'm going to be 1 short. I think I'll just get a few and I'll take that. Okay, do I want the white or the green? Well, whatever. Let's go with white. And wrong choice. Alright, well that's going to be it for this one. I'll see you guys later.